remember about remainders. We've been doing a lot of division. What does it mean to have a remainder? Zachary, what does that mean?
The remainder is like where you can't actually get to like the same number. So the remainder that you have, you're going to add it up with the answer that you got, and then it's going to give you the right answer, so you can round.
So what do you mean by it's not going to get you the exact, or it's not, doesn't?
Yeah, because when you're first divisioning, if you're like doing like 1,000 and you have a remainder, just add the remainder round first, and then add the remainder to get you the right answer if you're checking.
Oh, if you're checking it. Okay, so we're talking about if you want to check a division problem, you add it back in. Okay, but what does that remainder mean, Quinlan?
The leftover number.
Okay, leftover. So when you say leftover from what?
From the answer, from the number that you're dividing with.
Okay. So let me give you guys a sample. What if I give you the number 7 divided by 2? Raise your hand if you can tell me what 7 divided by 2 is. Cohen?
7 divided by 2 is...
How many times can 2 go into 7? Can we think of it that way? Let's think about that again. If I have 7 apples and I want to divide them up evenly between 2 people, how many will each person get?
2.
2? Do you think we can get 2? Okay. Let's check it. If I have 2, let's check it with multiplication, okay? If I have 2, then what would my multiplication problem be to check it, Cohen?
2 times 2 equals 4.
Is that 7? What do we think, Talissa?
For the remainder of 1.
How did you get that?
Because if you want to know, you just you need to know it's 2 and then multiply it to 7. So I counted by 2s, and when it gets close to 7, I stop.
Okay, so you took the multiples of 2, and you said 2, what's your next one?
4, 6, 8.
8. Oh, so 8 is above 7, so we have to stop right there. Okay, and so it went in 1, 2, 3 times. But 6 isn't quite 7, right?
No.
So we have 1 left over. Let's draw a picture of it. Everyone in your notebooks, I want you to draw a picture of what that division problem would look. If I have 2 people and they're dividing 7 apples between those 2 people. Draw a picture of it. When you have that done, put your hand on your head so I can see that you're done. Okay. Raise your hand if you can come up here and show me how you put them into the different groups. Ava, come on up. How did you know to put 3? So did you automatically know, because we already solved this, that there'd be 3 in each group? What if we hadn't solved it? How would you have maybe done it? So you'd give them out until you ran out, and then whatever was left over, because they have to have the same amount, would be your remainder. Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, so up here, I have 3 different problems that we're going to look at where the remainder means something different. Let's go ahead and try 9 divided by 4 and and see what we get. Try it with a picture, like we just did. 9 divided by 4 in your notebook. Hand on your head as soon as you got it. Okay, raise your hand if you can tell me how many did you get in each group? How many times can 4 go into 9? Jacob?
2 remaining.
2 remaining. Okay. So now let's look at a story problem where we don't need the remainder. Can I get a volunteer to read this in your books? You're already on this page. Let's go ahead and read it nice and loud for Elise.
Which one are you
On A. Sorry, go ahead and read A.
The remainder is not part of the question. Thomas has one 9-foot pine board. He needs to make 4-foot shelves for his books. How many shelves could he cut?
All right. So we know that we need to divide on this. We've already done the problem. 9 divided by 4 equals 2 with 1 left over. How many shelves can he cut? Raise your hand if you can tell me. We've already solved it. How many shelves can he cut? Alex?
2.
2. What about the 1? What does the 1 have to do with this problem? Do we need to know the 1?
No.
No. Turn to your person next to you and discuss why you don't need the 1 to solve this problem. Ready? Go. Right here. Still on? Go ahead and join that. Right here. Oh, but is it a full shelf? What are they looking for? It has to be 9 feet, right? So that with that one extra foot, it wouldn't give you another 9-foot shelf. No. All right, back with me in 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, what are we going to do with that 1? Libby?
Throw it to the side because you don't need it. It's left over.
Can you make a whole nother 9-foot shelf with just 1 foot?
No.
No. So that's just extra information that we don't really need. All right, let's look at the second one here. Go ahead and volunteer read B. Ethan, nice and loud.
The remainder caused the answer to be rounded up. 9 students are going on a field trip. Parents have offered to drive. If each parent can drive 4 students, how many parents need to drive?
Okay, again, what would our division problem be here, Alex?
9 divided by 4.
All right, which we've already solved. What do we need to do with the remainder this time? What would our answer be to this? How many parents need to drive? What do we think, Nathan?
2.
Just 2 parents? Okay. So what does this remainder mean in this case? What is that 1, Craig?
Another parent has to drive that student.
What? Oh, because it's what? What is the 1%? You just said it.
A student?
It's a student. So can we just leave 1 student behind?
No.
No, that poor student, they'd want to go too, right?
Yeah.
So if each car can only drive 4 students, and we've got 1 left over, you have to have a whole nother car, right? A whole nother parent to come, right? So, knowing that, how many parents would have to come? Just 2?
3.
3. Okay, so in this case, we need the remainder to round up our answer. We're changing the 2 to a 3 because we have to have enough cars. You can't just stuff another person in illegally, right? Okay, so 3 would be your answer there. Go ahead and look at letter E. Volunteer to read letter E. To listen nice and loud.
The remainder is the only part needed to answer the question. How many students have signed up to run a relay race? If each relay team can have 4 runners, how many students cannot run in the race?
So what would our division problem be for this? Dylan?
10 divided by 4.
Okay, so we've got our division. It's the same as the other ones, isn't it? How many students cannot run in the race? What does our remainder represent this time? What does it represent?
Oh,
What do we think?
1 extra person.
Hang on. Wait a second. Think about it. If you're sitting there not sure, reread the question in your mind. All right, Erica, what does that remainder 1 represent this time?
That, it's 1 student.
Okay, it's a student. Which student? Like what? Is it one that can run in the race or one that can't? Can't. Did you say it can or can't?
Can't.
Can't. Okay. So in this case, do we need to know the 2?
No.
We don't need to know the 2. We just need to know that there's 1 student that cannot run in the race. All right. We're going to try some problems. If you'll turn the page, we're going to try some problems where you are going to be interpreting the remainder on whether it is not part of the question, whether the remainder causes it to be rounded up like our car question, or whether the remainder is the only part needed to answer the question. Okay, if I tap your shoulder, I want you to go to the back table and work with Mrs. Caramico. Everyone else, I'm going to be helping you as you work on it independently. Okay? Everyone else begin working on it. Yeah, go ahead and put your stuff back there. Okay, so you are on the next page, page 118, working on numbers 1 through 5. Boys and girls with me, if you finish numbers 1 through 5, there's a challenge problem number 6. If you finish 1 through 5, you're going to do the challenge problem number 6. original thing you wrote down. Should be 100 and... Girls, I have a few people getting stuck on if you have no remainder at all. If you have no remainder at all, which one of these is it going to be? Vote with your fingers. Is it going to be not part of the question, 1? Is it going to be 2, the remainder causes the answer to be rounded up? Or 3, the remainder is the only part needed to answer the question? Vote with your fingers. Oh, I still have a couple people not voting. Look up and vote, please. I need Jacob and Nathaniel to vote. Vote for me. Which one? 1, 2, or 3? Alright, go ahead and put your fingers down. Okay. So you're correct. It's not part of the question at all. If there's no remainder, we don't need to worry about it, do we? over these. Let's look at number 1 together. Can I get a volunteer to read that question? Alex? Alright. So check your division with me as we do this. Okay, can 5 go into 1? Okay, everyone, can 5 go into 16?
Yes.
How many times?
3 times.
3 times 5 is?
10. 0.
5 goes into 10, how many times?
2 times.
Okay. 2 times 5 is?
10 minus 10 equals 0. No remainder.
Okay, so there's no remainder here. So vote with your fingers. 1, 2, or 3. The remainder is not part of the question. The remainder causes the answer to be rounded up. Or the remainder is the only part needed to answer the question. Vote with your fingers. 1, 2, or 3. Alright, I see a lot of 1s. That's correct. Because if there is no remainder, it's not part of the question, is it? Let's look at number 2. Who can tell me what they got as their answer for number 2? Let's see, Carlise, what did you get?
28, remainder 4.
We're looking at number, is that number 3 that you're looking at?
No, that's number 2. No.
That's number,
That's number 2.
that's number 2. Okay, so if I'm just looking at this second question, how many crackers are left over? What do I need to know? Do I need to know the 28 or the 4 first off?
4.
Raise your hand if you can tell me. 28 or the 4? Quinlan?
The 4.
Okay, so we need to know the 4. So now, vote with your fingers. 1, the remainder is not part of the question. 2, the remainder causes the answer to be rounded up. Or 3, the remainder is the only part needed to answer the question. 1, 2, or 3? Alright, I see lots of 3s. Why 3? Who can tell me why 3, Craig? Why is it the only part we need?
It says how many crackers are left over.
Good. And oftentimes the remainder is what's left over, right? So we only need to know 4 crackers. Alright, let's look at number 3. Who can tell me what they got for number 3? Ava?
16 remainder 4.
On this one, we're asking how many full shells will Jerry have? So let's vote with our fingers. 1, the remainder is not part of the question. 2, the remainder causes the answer to be rounded up. Or 3, the remainder is the only part needed to answer the question. Vote with your fingers. I've got a few mixed responses. Okay, those that voted number 2, why did you decide that the remainder needs to be rounded up? Who voted 2? I saw a few people voted. Quinlan, why do you think it needs to be rounded up?
Because I just
You forgot? Anybody else? Why number 2?
because it says how many full shells you have.
Full shelves. Okay, so the remainder causes it to be rounded up. So if I have 4 left over, then that can fill a whole nother shelf. Can that fill a whole shelf? How much does one shelf fit?
8.
Okay, so is 4 going to fill a whole shelf?
No.
What do you think, Zach? Will that leftover 4 fill that full shelf? What do you think?
No.
No? So if it won't fill the full shelf, then is that going to pertain to this question? Does it have anything to do with how many full shelves he'll have? So which one is it, guys?
1.
The remainder's not part of the question, is it? Okay. So we'll just have 16 full shelves. All right. Let's look at number 4. This is the last one we're going to look at right now. What did we get for number 4, Ethan? What was your number?
21 remainder 3. Yes.
Okay.
We're
asking, what is our question that we're asking?
how many pennies did
Rashid
have left after he gave his sister their share?
So which number do we need? What do we need? What would our answer be to that?
You would need the 3.
Why? Can anyone answer why? Raise your hand if you can answer why we would need the 3. Why would we need the 3? Charlize?
You would need the 3 because if you have 87, you have 87 pennies. No.
Craig, can you help us out?
It says how many pennies did Rashid have left. You have to circle have left.
Have left. That is the key word. Okay, so if we have left, how many does he have left?
3.
3. Okay. So do we need this 21?
No.
So which one is it going to be? 1, 2, 3, or 3? The remainder is not part of the question. The remainder causes the answer to be rounded up, or the remainder is the only part needed. What do we think? Everyone vote. I need to see everybody voting. Samuel, Quinlan, Erica, what do you guys think? All right, I would agree that the remainder is the only part we need. He has 3 pennies.
So it's nothing, so you have to put 3 down.
3 pennies would be your answer. So it wouldn't be 21 remainder 3. Our answer would be 3 pennies. All right, boys and girls, go ahead and put these in your desk showing that you're ready to go to lunch.